Welcome, CityState 2 fans, to CityState 2 with Omnius Prime. Episode 18, Public Transit and Arcology C Unlock, version 1.3d. Here we are looking down this avenue, and as you can see, we can basically see forever. And I can see for miles. That was an old song. So here, as you can see, city is leveling up. Over here, I just placed another Arcology B, and I zoned up these to the high density, zone high density here. I still need to zone up these medium densities. But right now, I have a fairly high informal demand. So I've got to be, I got to pace myself on how I replace medium density with high density. I decided to build multiple Arcologies just to really make sure that they suck up the extra middle income housing demand. Okay, I even built another quadrant here and started residential. Okay, so I just zoned this is all high density and popped another Arcology B here. Okay, now what else did I do? I even started zoning high density business. Here's some new commercial and stuff, and if I go ahead and do my underground resources, I don't have anything here, but I will have some stuff over here. So now what I'm doing is kind of going to look at this stuff and then zone around it. I got a bunch here that I can zone when I get around to it. Now, one thing is that right here I've got some resources here. So I'm going to kind of slow up on doing this until I have, I want to put some mines in. Here I just started this one. As you can see now, I have 1 out of 4. These are the 3 out of 6. This is 1 out of 5 for retail and 1 out of 6 for office. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm going to start replacing medium density with high density in these 3 initial blocks here. Okay, so that basically what I'd want to do is build up, because as you can see now my unemployment rate has shot up to 6%. So finally, I can start building up business again. And now the goal of this episode, I'm at 323,000. So the goal of this episode is obviously from the title, I'm going to build public transit. But over here on the left, the government HQ at 400,000. I'm going to hit stage 4 out of 5. It will allow me to pick 3 more policies per category, so that'll give me 3, 6, 9 more policies that I can enact. And then at 480,000, I'm going to get Arcology C. Okay, and so that's going to be my goal. And then I'm going to put in public transit. I'm going to do bus and underground rail. So I'm just kind of waiting for let's go ahead and let's start running some clock here, and let's just kind of let my statistics warm up. Now, as you can see, I have my informal demand. It's reducing. So what I had to do was really just overbuild to make sure that my informal demand reduces so that I can go ahead and start replacing more medium density with high density. And it looks like what I'm going to need is to place more business and stuff. So as you can see, things are starting to level up, which is really nice. Oh yeah, let's take a look at my statistics. Now it looks like I'm making 85,000. I've got 9.7 million. I haven't done anything with my taxes. Got 0.9% inflation rate. Okay, almost have got 966,000 in the National Treasury. Okay, if we look here, quality of life 101. You see how my informal, now it's starting to go up a bit. Okay, because now what I need to do is, you can see how that 1500 popped up right there. So what I need to do, okay, is an 855, and I'm going to need some water. So what I'm going to need to do here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for an ecology, 7 for a space, go 8, and so I'm going to go 160 and build 5 4x4s. Come over here, hit the control key, build 2 6x6, 2 4x6. Boom. And while I'm at it, I'm going to throw in another, so let's see, what if I place this guy over, make sure I'm, yeah, right there, so that I have plenty of B going on. Now, water. So that's used, that's closed. So 1. And now I'm opening up a lot more of these at one time, because I don't have to quite pinch the penny so much. There. And now that'll give me 94, and I've got 94 on power. So now I can just zone up, and then you can watch how these, whoa, look at that middle income demand. So okay, be that way. Then what I'm going to do is, let's come up here, and where do I want to place another one of these guys? Okay, why don't I place him right here? Okay, now how does that work? Oh yeah, look at that, man, that dropped real nice. Now you can see how the informal demand is dropping by 29 and stuff. So now what I'm doing is just building up the population, so that I can get to a point where I want to do some more unlocks and stuff. So, hitting 340 some thousand, and I'm going to be doing a little more expanding and stuff, and then I'm going to come back and probably start up going to do the so my traffic congestion's at 42%. Okay, the economy, as you can see, I'm in good shape here. Okay, for the and you notice that housing demand, now I'm 0.8. GDP per capita 155.6. Now my participation rate's only 75.7. GDP growth of 5%. I'm trying to get a little better on my policies for basic manufacturing, but it's still got a big negative. And in the approval, okay, now I'm at 65% left wing, 35% right wing as far as population goes. But my approval ratings are 59% left, 56% right, with a 58% overall. So doing really well. I'm going to have to build up some more business and stuff. So I'll be back in a while. I'm a little further along at 346,000. I built this new residential area here. I'm getting ready to add some business because I've kind of run out of business squares. So what I think I'm going to do is level that all up. Okay, so now what I'll be able to do is build roads here. Probably gonna need to just make sure that I've got that all lined up nice. So just wanted to show you that right now I'm at 41% traffic congestion. I kind of figure, yeah, this is going to be a good time to just go ahead and lay in my public transportation. I've got 97 million in income. So what I really do need to do is build up some more business areas and jobs, because as you can see, my unemployment is creeping up. I've been busy building up my public transit system, and I have just about completed it. But what I wanted to do was finish up, show you a little bit of building. So let's come in here. And first of all, I've got a little bit of rail track to lay, underground rail. I love underground rail. So it's just so nice and easy to lay underground rail. Just like that. Okay, the tracks. Now I've already run the up and down along the left side of the avenues, as you can see right there. So now what I need to do is lay some stations in. Now, what I'm doing is right now, my train stations, I'm using what I'm calling the four corners layout. As you can see, for each quadrant, you can see one right here, one right here, one right here, and one down here in the bottom right. So what I do is each quadrant gets a train station. Kind of like my layouts that I do above ground. Okay, so this is the four corners. So now what I'm going to do is just come along here and place him here, place a station right there. Let's see, better make sure. I'm just going to go ahead and place my stations even before I build. Let's go ahead and drop one in right there and right here. So now that takes care of my four corners, okay? And that takes care of my underground rail system setup. Now, buses, okay? I decided on a different layout pattern, okay? And I'm calling this the opposing end approach, where what I'm doing is along these roads, I'm placing them here, not in the corners, okay? So what I would have is I would have bus stop here, bus stop here, okay? Bus stop here, bus stop here. Now, the rail goes along the bottom of the avenue, and the bus stations go along the top. So here I would do bus stop, and I already got the bus stops, and I already got the bus stops. And so I've done the whole city like this. Now, this gives me great coverage, okay? As you can see, every corner has some kind of public transportation system. And guess what? Um, when I want to expand my underground rail, boop, I can just do it right opposite. Then I can do the opposing corners kind of approach where I'm doing right opposite the bus stations. Okay? Then I could take the bus stations and do the four corners approach and put the bus stop right opposite the underground train station. Okay? So this way they kind of supplement each other. Now I know some people have asked, should I place bus stops on each side of like the avenue like that? And the answer is no. One bus stop is going to cover, this much space. So then you're duplicating effort. But what you want is pedestrians walk up and down streets and avenues. So you want to have stuff on each corner so that people in the middle of the streets, okay, have a short way to go. So right now I don't have like a super high density city yet. So I don't really need to go whole hog for both systems. So what I've done is a little bit of each to kind of control costs, because it cost me over $1 million to build this extra road in here. I put in some, I turned in some gravel roads into roads, okay? And you can see that the, now the one exception that I had was I couldn't put my rail line, well, I could put my rail line along the bottom edge here of the avenue here, but I couldn't bring the up and down to connect. So I ended up having to use my rail line on the top here, okay, of this avenue, and then my buses are on the bottom. So that's the one exception that I made because of the ports and stuff here. So that let's see now, what else have I been doing? Yeah, I built this area here. Let's bring my layers up. Now, I did some prospecting, and then rather dumbly I forgot to use the task manager and exit without saving, so I saved my prospecting, and I only had this one spot right here that's got some decent oil and stuff somewhere. Oh yeah, 113, 116, 103. That's kind of like wimpy stuff, but ooh, 203. So yep, I've got some prospecting there. So what I ended up doing, since I didn't have any good mining here, is I turned this into residential. Okay, so now this quadrant and this quadrant are going to be residential. The bottom two quadrants here are going to be business, so that residential flows into business. And so now slowly but surely, as you can see, the city's going to be growing up a little bit. I haven't warmed up my statistics yet, and let's go ahead and now when I began a little earlier in the first segment of this episode, I noticed that my transportation cost was $14,245. So now I'm going to run some clock here, and let's warm up my statistics. Now look at that! Wow. Oh, unemployment 6%. Now 7%, 6, and of course I forgot to check for power before I started running clock. What a dingo. Okay, so let's see. That's closed. That's closed. That's closed. That's open. So let's just go ahead and power up. Let's open up 4 of these guys. Have plenty of power. Now, what am I doing as far as water goes? Okay, that's open. That's open. Of course. So, let's see, where's my water at? I think I'm just going to open this guy up to a 2 and just not worry about pinching pennies right now because I'm recording. So let's go ahead and boom. Now everybody's happy. Man. So you can see my education score is starting to drop down to 89. My unemployment rate has gone to 7%. I don't like that. Okay? So guess what I'm going to do? Well, I got 800 potential passengers. So what if I do this? Okay? And turn the airport off. Let's just see. So what I did is I turned off the least developed countries. So now I'm just getting, stuff from developing and developed countries. And if I turn off my screens up, man, there's my demand screen, there's my stats screen. So I'm doing pretty good on my housing demand. My informal demand is coming down. Now, I really kind of have got this figured out nicely now. When buildings get replaced, 2/3 of the population turn into informal demand. Okay, so when you bulldoze, like when I bulldoze these properties here, I'm going to create informal demand. Okay, now at a rate of about 29 right here, I'm basically, it looks like my informal demand will turn into like low-income housing demand. Okay. So that's how, so when I bulldoze these buildings here, these medium density ones, so I can replace them with high density. Oops, those are medium density too, yeah. So when I replace them with high density, oh, I think it was right here. Yeah, that's the row that I'm going to do. Because here's the high density housing right there, okay, up to 6 out of 7. So what it does is it creates informal demand. And too much informal demand is going to create slums. So, okay, so it gets up to like about 2,500. So what I've got to do now, what I see here is all of these guys are have the bad road connection, So I've got 2 ways that I can solve this problem. I've got to do some work on my education, and then what I'm going to do is run some clock. I need to get up to 400,000 because my next goal. Oh yeah, let's see. Hold on. I was wanting to see. Woo! Look at this traffic congestion. Okay, I was at 41% when I began this experiment. And now I'm down to 10%. Look at the trains, man. I mean, and that's just with the Four Corners approach. And then the buses, they're always kind of wimpy. Okay, now let's take a look at and you can see the civil rights and the housing market. I'm staying on top of that and dropping down that informal demand. My GDP per capita, 160,000. Participation rate, 73.9. GDP growth, 2%. Okay, I'm still doing good with ports, airports, and my trade balance here. Okay, keeping that low inflation rate. Okay, my approval, 59%. Left, 55% right, 57 down the middle. And as you can see, there be no slum dwellers in this city. And where do I want to come up to? Budget. So, I went from 14,245 in transportation costs, and I'm now at 48,436. So that cost about 34,000, a little over 30,000 to do my public transportation. But like I said, it went from 41% to 10%, and I can only imagine that having the public transportation around is just going to make uh, things just that much better. Okay, got a little over $1 million in the National Treasury. I rebuilt my $1 million almost that I've just spent. So yeah, I need to go ahead and oh yeah, did I do the economy one here? The other thing is you can see the exchange rate now gives no help to the basic manufacturing, and boy, advanced manufacturing has a big growth bonus. So this is where it's just a little overbalanced for the basic manufacturing. A little later on, I'm going to show you a slick little trick on how to perhaps raise up the demand. So I think I'll be back when I get to about 400,000, and that I can do the government headquarters unlock and pass some new policies. Population, as you can see, is now 399,313. So I'm just about ready to trip over the government headquarters stage 3 out of 5 unlocking for stage 4. Okay, so now we're right here in front of the building. Let's go ahead and run some clock. I think I'm just going to turn the view off so we can see the building a little better. And I guess we'll know when we see the building pop up when it hits 400,000. Okay, there it is, government upgrade. To keep up with the growing national population, the seat of government has been enlarged to accommodate additional lawmakers. New policies may be enacted. Okay, so the building's looking slick, and as you can see, we got the now we have 4 flags, okay, for stage 4. And of course I love my Ukrainian don't tread on me flag. Slava Ukrainia. So that takes care of the government upgrade. Now let's turn that back on. That means we have more legislation. So I can do economy, I can do 3 more. Government, I can do 3 more. Society, I can do 3 more. Okay? And custom is still just, I got 10, but I've only done the 1 right now. I'm kind of holding off on that. So I'm just kind of looking to see which one of these, there's the criminal rehabilitation. And if I come over here, okay, so it looks like what I need to do now is trash my economic freedom and gain the criminal rehabilitation. So, economic freedom is sitting at 56. So what I'm going to do is obviously do the criminal rehabilitation one. I'm going to find a couple of more policies and stuff. So right now I'm going to trash my economic freedom score so I can pick up the Gulag. So I'll be back in a bit after I've done a little bit of research on getting this all done. I've looked over the legislation, and I've come up with my top 5 picks. So first and foremost, since what I want to do is do the Gulag, okay, I need less than 45 points of economic freedom, criminal rehabilitation, policy set to manual labor. So, criminal rehabilitation, mandatory farming and manual labor. Okay, ooh, look at that nice income. I love it. Okay, now I've got to trash economic freedom, so let's go over here to economy. Let's pick on tariffs. I'm going to go from low and a plus 1.5 to minus 3. So that's going to drop me 4.5 points. Ooh, going to make me some big money for a little bit. I think then I'm going to do finance. Okay. Going to gain a little bit here, go from -1 to -5, so that's going to drop me another 4. Okay. I'm going to go to copyrights and patents, and I'm going to gain a little bit here, a -3. Okay. And then how about if I go to the stock market and go from ban high risk investments to close the stock market? That's going to drop me another 3. And then I'm going to have to wait and let the clock run. So let's take a look now. Right now the economic freedom tells me it's 50, but it started at 56. And I got to run clock because I haven't warmed up my statistics. Woo. Okay, 41. That gives me the Gulag. Nice and cheap. So it's going to be, what, 7,195? And I'm writing these costs down. So go ahead and do the research on the Gulag. And now it's time for placement. So there is my rehabilitation center. So now I'm going to place my Gulag right next door. And let's see, we got 93 out of 550. Well, look at that, 68 out of 400. 47 out of 275, and that's not even leveled up one. And so now my stability is 56. I'm trying to run down my informal demand. It's now going down to minus 35. Looks like I'm building up a little bit of low income housing demand and stuff. So right now what I'm doing is just adding a bunch of these Arcology A's and B's to all of my residential quadrants. In some cases I'm having to take out buildings to accommodate that. But what I want to do now is get to the 480,000 mark, where I can unlock Arcology B at 480. Probably cost me about 3.5 million. So right now I've got almost 13.5 million cash available. So now what I'm going to do is run some clock, do some building, and come back when stability is hitting 100. I've rebuilt my stability to 100. So now I can go ahead and what I'm going to do is basically take the 5 policies I just changed and change them around. So first of all, what I want to do with this mandatory farming and manual labor, now that I got the Gulag, is I just really want to do the provide therapy, job training, and access to outdoors. Gives me some various benefits across the board, and it does cost me money. You know, I go from making 2,000 to spending 1,000, but this is really where I want to get the criminal rehab. So now let's go back to the economy, and now I can reset my tariffs back to low here. Okay, I'm going to set my finance back to control all financial transactions. Okay. And we're going to do copyrights and patents. We're going to enforce for all sectors. And let's see, stock market is going to be ban high risk investments, ban leverage. Okay. And let's call it that. So that's going to take care of, now let's go screens up. I just love the There we go. Demand and information and stat screens. So I'm my informal demand's right around 1950 now. As you can see, I've got very low demand now for low income housing, and my high income my medium income housing is being taken care of by the Arcologies now, and I'm building in excess of Arcologies. So now what I'm doing is just waiting, and let's see. I'm back to 100 now. Okay. I guess I'm going to stop the clock, and let's do some more policies. Now, let's start off over here. Economic stimulus. Is that going to give me something? Provide subsidized loans and to selected businesses. No incentives. Okay, gives me some corruption, costs me 1,000. Tax reliefs and interest-free loans. That's going to cost me 3,000. And manufacturing super subsidies pack. Ooh, boy, looks good for the basic manufacturing. That's sure what I need, but nope, I'm not going to do that. So let's see, tax reliefs and interest-free loans gives me. Okay, I think maybe I'm gonna go with this guy here. It's gonna cost me 1,000, and I get a little perk all the way across the board. Okay, so that was gonna be one. Wage control. So we'll have could have no wage control. Gives me a lot of economic freedom. Minimum wage and maximum wage. Ooh, look at that. It gives me a nice boost to basic manufacturing. Equal wages with productivity bonuses. Woo! Boy, that really puts a big kibosh on the economic freedom. Really nice for the basic manufacturing. Man, I'd almost need that. Let's see. I think I'm going to go minimum wage and maximum wage. Get a boost to my basic manufacturing. Yeah, it's going to do a little damage to social ladder and economic freedom, but what the heck. So let's see. That's going to be 2. Antitrust. Let's see. What do we got here? Do not regulate or investigate monopolies. Good for office and advance. Bad for retail and basic. A little bit of economic freedom there. Government approval required for large mergers. Basically, a little hit to retail and basic, and a little plus to office and advanced. Control mergers. Price fixing and all unfair practices. Dismantle monopolies. Enforce fair competition fully. That's an interesting one. Gives me some retail and some basic manufacturing boost. Big boost on the economic freedom. Why not? Okay, so that was 3 of them. Let's take a look at work safety regulations. Potential risks, okay. Bad on civil rights. Some inspections, low safety standards, cost me 500. Regular inspections, high safety standards. Okay, look at that. Plus to the civil rights, plus to health. A little plus to birth rate, which we can use. Economic freedom, boost against a boost towards controlling pollution. Criminalize safety violations. Ooh, boy, look at that hit to basic manufacturing. Well, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with regular inspections, high safety standards. Go ahead and, so what did I do? That was 3. Let's do national surveillance. So we have no surveillance. That gives me a big plus on civil rights, and it reduces corruption. Monitor religious radicals and criminals. Okay, civil rights a plus, and some safety a plus. Mass surveillance for crimes and offenses. Adds corruption, interestingly enough, and is good for the security. Costs 1,000. Bad on civil rights. Administer to every citizen a microchip ID under the skin. Whoo, poo. Look at that. Civil rights -6. Great on effect on security, but bad on corruption. So what if we do this guy here? Now, it might be that I'll turn on the no surveillance if there's one that I'm going to have to jack up my civil rights, I think. But for now, I think I'm just going to do this. And let's just run some clock. So now what I'm going to do is come back in a little bit and finish up building some more and wrap up those rest of those policies. Got my stability back up to 100 again, so I'm ready to do some more policy changes. I just wanted to show you that I have been ripping up whole blocks, or you know, this little area here of basic manufacturing. You can see there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these buildings across when they're medium density and 4x4 lots, but I go to 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 6x5 lots. It's really cool because, you know, that's 10 between avenue and street and road, and so yeah, I can do the 5 size lots. So that's really cool how Andy gave us the different lot sizes. So my unemployment is up to 7%, and that's because, you know, here I'm dumping some business. Got to wait for it to regrow. Okay, that's why my airport is still turned off, and I'm limiting immigration. So let's come back to the policies, and first of all, let's look and see. I've got all the economy. I have homelessness, so let's do homelessness. We have relying only on private initiatives, a whole lot of negatives. Doesn't cost anything. Provide daily meals. Now we get a little bit of civil rights, a little bit of health, a little bit of security and religiousness help, a little bit of approval from the right, a little disapproval from the left. Cost $528. Provide health care, shelter, and daily meals. Now we have a nicer boost to civil rights, some social ladder, health, security, and religiousness. This is going to cost us $2,000, $2,100. Now we have select random citizens, force them to provide shelter. Wow, yeah, that's, you know, the plus to civil rights, the big plus on the social ladder, for, you know, which is interesting. Health gets a good boost, but look at the security, man. That's a bad situation, bad birth rate, bad religiousness, and look at that big boost to corruption, which is fun. No cost, though. So if I went here, okay, this is about the best of, you know, the money I don't have to worry about. You know, I'm making 106,000 right now, so civil rights +2, the social ladder, a little help on health, security, and religiousness, little approval from the left. So I'm going to go here with this one. Let's look at society, okay? Drug legislation. So we have all drugs are legal with proper warning labels and medical warnings. Good on the civil rights, a little bit of economic freedom help, some security. Big effect on, positive effect on corruption index, you know, because like, you know, hey, if they're legal now, you're basically cutting out a source of corruption or crime, which is interesting. So some negatives, though, would be, you know, to health, to education, to birth rate, which definitely don't need to hurt the birth rate, and the religiousness, of course, goes. Now, that's an interesting concept, that the religiousness would go up. when you make the drugs legal. See, I would have thought that the religiousness help would have come from the criminalize. Of course, there's a big disapproval from the right, big approval from the left, okay? So we got prohibit harmful drugs only, a little boost to civil rights and economic freedom with security, negatives to health, education, and birth rate, okay? 50-50, 50% approve from the left, 50% disapproval from the right. Legal for medicinal use only, decriminalized. A little help to the civil rights and economic freedom, to health, to security. Got a little bump up on the corruption index. And then you go with criminalize all drug use. Okay, big hit against civil rights. Boost to health, a big hit against security, a boost to birth rate, and as you can see, a big boost to corruption, because now you're making something illegal, so you're going to have more corruption. So, what do I want to do? Do I want to prohibit, or do I want to legalize? Where's my crime? It's sitting at 5%. So, just trying to see. I think I'm going to do this one right here. Legal for medicinal use only, decriminalized. Let's do that. Affirmative action. No requirements. Negative civil rights, so plus to economic freedom. Right likes it a little bit, the left dislikes it. Add campaigns to promote diversity at work. You get a little bit of social ladder boost here. Enforce quotas in government and public organizations. Some civil rights and social ladder boost, but then you've got a big hit against health, a little hit against education, and it adds to corruption. Okay, because as you create laws, you create possibilities of crime. So I guess if we get rid of all the laws, do we get rid of all the crime? I don't think so. Human nature says no. Okay, so enforce quotas in all public and private organizations. So big hit on the civil rights. Social ladder, kind of nice. Big hit against the economic freedom. Big hit against health and education and corruption. I kind of like this one the best. It doesn't do much, but it gives me a little social ladder boost, and we can always use social ladder boost. Okay, now I wanted to change this one too, because the online freedoms, I don't like the hit to the economic freedom right now, or the civil rights, or the boost to education. So what I'm going to do is go to pop-ups, spam to inform about privacy. It gives me a little office advanced manufacturing help, a little bit of civil rights help, a little 1.5% drop in education. But right now I can dumb down my education to help my basic manufacturing. So, boom, that's going to take care of that. And so my civil rights is sitting at 73. And soon these little things will get connected, and I will be able to start getting jobs and start building that up. I got to build some more industry. So let's see. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Not as good a boost to middle classes. I had it up to, I don't know, 2.5%. Bit of a hit here on the social ladder, okay, for the high rollers. Ooh, up to 103 on the quality of life, so that's pretty good. 1874, I'm bringing down that informal demand so that I can keep replacing neighborhoods. Traffic congestion, 10%, that's just outrageously awesome. Corruption at 7%. I'm going to have to look at that then and see what I can do about reducing corruption. So I might have to do some more policy changes. Okay, the economic screen, I'm still doing good here with my inflation. My GDP per capita is now up to 192.1K. Participation rate 74%. It's down a bit because my unemployment rate is up. So now, as you can see, that education dump on basic manufacturing is the plus to advanced. So really tough to get any basic manufacturing demand, and that's just wrong. The education just gives way too much of a hit, and the exchange rate is still um, off as far as giving basic manufacturing a boost. Okay, let's take a look at approval. So I've got 67% left wing, 33% right wing, 2/3, 1/3, 70% approval on the left. Woo, 31% approval on the right. Woo, I did some peeving off of the right wing. So approval is at 58%. And if we look at my charts, here we're looking at the slow but steady growth. Okay. As we can see, no slum dwellers. Never been slum dwellers. Okay. That's going to do it for this segment. I'm at, what, 426,000? So I'm going to be back probably right around 480,000 so I can unlock Arcology C. Time to wrap this episode up. But now, what I want to do is reach my final goal here for the episode, which is going to be hit 480,000 in population, which I just hit. And now, I have Arcology C available. Okay? Research cost, whoo, dogs, 4,136,000. 4,136,559. And now what I'm kind of wondering is if these prices are tied to the currency value somehow. There we go. So now I have Arcology C available. Bingo time, a mere 380,000 to build. And as you can see, I built a new housing area. So boom, let's put one there. Let's just go ahead and put one right here. Boom time. So yep, so every quadrant here is going to have 4 arcologies, an A, a B, and 2 C's. Whoopsie, I guess I'm going to have to fill up the hospitals again, play General Hospital. So I guess what I can do is just do this and drop this in. And that's done. So now my unemployment rate is shot up to 8%. I still have the airport off. I'm going to have to look at this corruption of 7%. I just had my imports go over my exports for the first time ever. So I ended up building a bunch of mining facilities here, primary sectors. Here I got some pretty good ones. So it bumped up my exports over my imports again, my supply over demand. And let's see, over here. And then I had to build another port to make sure that I have plenty of port capacity. But one of the things I want to do is try to make sure that I keep a fairly, close difference here. GDP per capita now over 201 5.4K. Participation rate is only 72.6. So now my next episode goal is going to be, I'm going to unlock the air taxi. As you can see, the GDP per capita shows that yes, I've got more than 100,000. I dropped down below my money. I need like over 20 million to do that. Now, the other thing that I want to unlock is going to be the state social media. But I won't be able to do that until the very last government unlock. Because then I'm going to need the state-owned media here, okay? So that won't happen until 1.2 million. But next episode, I am going to kind of grow. I think my next stage is going to be, I'm going to just wait until I'm going to build up and do the government HQ next time. Going to do the air taxi. And then maybe I'll even be able to do the social media, or I might leave that to an episode after that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to lay in my highway. I think it's about time to lay in my highway. And just keep growing now. Now it's just build up population. I've done a whole bunch of things. I hope that you've enjoyed this episode and that you'll be back for my next one. Until then, I hope that all of you have a great time.